If you're watching this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me from where you're hearing my story. I want to know how far it's reached. Hello, dear friends. My name is Amara Lopez, and I'm 40 years old. I'm a librarian from Asheville, North Carolina, where the Blue Ridge Mountains cradle our artsy town, and the air smells of pine and fresh brewed coffee. For 18 years, I've shelved books, guided readers, and preserved stories in our county library, my hands ink-stained from cataloging, my heart tethered to the pages that hold the world's dreams. But for too long, I felt invisible, my own story unwritten, my purpose buried under routine. Tonight, I want to share how a single moment, a broken bookmobile and a child's plea, ignited a journey to heal my spirit, inspire others, and rediscover my light. This is a story of finding strength in small acts, of building a haven for others, and of learning that we all have the power to change lives. So, grab a cozy blanket and a mug of tea, settle in, and let me take you through my tale. I grew up in a small apartment in Asheville, raised by my single mother, Rosa, a seamstress who stitched love into every quilt she made. As a shy girl, I found solace in books, and of Green Gables, Maya Angelou, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, their words a refuge from my quiet world. I dreamed of being a writer, of crafting stories that moved hearts, but my mother's struggles taught me practicality. Books are dreams, Amara, she'd say, but rent is real. So I studied library science, landing a job at 22, shelving books while my own stories stayed locked in a notebook under my bed. By 30, I was divorced from Javier, a high school sweetheart who called my dreams childish, and left me for a life less boring. The divorce left me with a rented studio, $5,000 in debt, and a heart heavy with self-doubt. I felt like a book no one wanted to check out, my pages yellowing with time. At 35, I saved $25,000 from my librarian's salary, stashing it in a tin box behind my bookshelf, and bought a small bungalow on the edge of Asheville. It had a front porch for reading, a cozy room for my books, and walls I painted sage green like the mountains. I called it my haven, a place to heal from years of feeling unseen. I filled it with second-hand furniture, fairy lights, and shelves of novels, hoping to write again someday. But routine swallowed me, shelving, cataloging, smiling through patrons' complaints. My heart ached for more, a purpose beyond the stacks, but fear whispered I was too old, too ordinary to make a difference. The turning point came last fall on a crisp October morning. I was driving the library's bookmobile, a creaky van that brought books to rural kids in the mountains. It was my favorite part of the job, seeing their eyes light up as they clutched tattered copies of Charlotte's Web or Harry Potter. But that day the van sputtered and died on a dirt road near Black Mountain, miles from town. As I waited for a tow, a girl, maybe 10, approached, her braids swinging, her eyes wide with worry. "Miss Amara, are you stopping the bookmobile?" she asked, clutching a worn copy of The Secret Garden. "We need it. There's no library near us and Mama can't drive far." Her name was Lila, and her words pierced me, a mix of guilt and clarity. I'd been so focused on my own invisibility, I hadn't seen the kids who needed me. That night, Lila's plea haunted me. I sat on my porch, staring at the stars, my heart heavy with questions. Was I doing enough? Could I do more? The bookmobile was old, underfunded, and now broken, serving only a fraction of the kids in need. I thought of my mother, sewing late into the night to provide for me, and of the books that had saved me as a child. A spark ignited, a vision of a mobile library that reached every corner of our county, a haven on wheels for kids like Lila. But doubt crept in. I was just a librarian, not a leader. How could I, at 40, with no connections or wealth, make this happen? The next day I called my colleague Sarah, a retired teacher who'd always believed in me. "Amara, you're a storyteller," she'd said once. "Your story's just waiting to be told." I poured out my idea, my voice trembling with excitement and fear. He didn't hesitate. "Let's do this," she said. "You're not alone." We brainstormed and I reached out to Mr. Patel, a local lawyer who'd helped with my divorce. He offered pro bono advice on fundraising and permits. "Document your vision," he said. "Build it step by step." I spent nights sketching plans, my heart swelling with possibility. I used $5,000 from my savings to repair the bookmobile, painting it with murals of books and mountains, naming it Lila's Haven, after the girl who'd sparked it all. The challenge was funding. A new van, books, and gas would cost $50,000, far beyond my means. Doubt gnawed at me, whispering I'd fail, that I was too small for such a big dream. But I thought of Lila's eyes, of kids waiting for stories, and pushed forward. I organized a community readathon at the library, my hands shaking as I pitched the idea to patrons. To my surprise, they rallied. Students, retirees, even the grumpy coffee shop owner, Mr. Ellis, who donated pastries. We read for 24 hours, raising $10,000. My heart soared, a mix of pride and hope. I posted flyers, started a crowdfunding page, and shared my story at local book clubs, my voice growing steadier. "Books saved me," I told them, tears in my eyes. "They can save our kids too." The community's response was a balm to my soul. A local artist donated a mural for the van. A bookstore owner gave 200 children's books. Sarah's church raised $5,000. Each act of kindness healed a piece of me, reminding me I wasn't invisible. But the real test came at a town hall meeting, where I presented my plan to the county board. My knees trembled as I stood before skeptics, some muttering about budgets and unrealistic dreams. "Why you, Ms. Lopez?" one counselor asked. "What makes you think you can do this?" My heart pounded, but I thought of Lila, of my mother, of every book that had given me courage. "Because I've been invisible too," I said, my voice clear. "And I know what it's like to need a story to feel seen. These kids deserve that chance." Silence fell, then applause. The board approved a $20,000 grant, and my emotions, hope, gratitude, determination, flooded me like a river. Over months, we built Lila's Haven. I worked late, cataloging donated books, learning to drive the new van, my hands calloused but my spirit light. The launch day was a crisp spring morning, the van gleaming with its murals packed with books. Lila and her mother were there, her eyes wide as she ran her fingers over the van's name. "You did this for us," she whispered. I hugged her, tears streaming down my face. "For all of us," I said. We drove to rural schools, libraries, and community centers, kids rushing to grab books, their laughter a melody of hope. Each stop healed me further, filling the holes left by years of doubt. I wasn't just a librarian, I was a builder of dreams. But the deepest healing came unexpectedly. At a stop in a mountain village, a shy boy, Miguel, handed me a folded paper. "I wrote this for you," he mumbled. It was a story about a librarian who brought books to kids, making them feel brave. "That's you, Miss Amara," he said. My heart swelled, tears blurring my vision. I'd inspired him just as books had inspired me. That night, I dusted off my old notebook, my fingers trembling as inspired me to start writing again. Short stories about Asheville, about kids like Miguel, about finding light in dark places. I shared them at library readings, my voice shaky but growing stronger, the applause a soothing balm to old wounds. Now at 40, I'm not the invisible woman I once was. Lila's Haven reaches 500 kids a month, and we're raising funds for a second van. My bungalow is a hub of community, book clubs, writing workshops, kids reading on my porch. I've started submitting my stories to journals, each word a step toward my dream. The emotions, fear, hope, joy, have woven a new chapter in my life. I've learned that healing comes from action, that inspiration blooms from helping others, and that one person, no matter how ordinary, can change the world by starting small. I think often of my mother, who never saw her own worth but gave me mine. I think of Lila, whose plea woke me up. And I think of myself, once afraid to shine, now a beacon for others. We all carry stories, wounds, and dreams. Sometimes it takes a broken moment, a stalled van, a child's voice, to remind us we're enough. My haven isn't just my bungalow or the bookmobile. It's the courage to believe in myself, to heal through giving, to inspire by being me. Did you feel my story, friends? I'm sharing it from Asheville, where the mountains whisper of hope and new beginnings. Where are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If this tale inspired you, healed a piece of your heart, or made you think, your support means everything. A kind word or a super thanks keeps these stories alive. Check out more on my channel and don't forget to subscribe. With love and light, Amara.